Well, hey, kids. Hey, it's me, Johnny Fox, here at Snikt. And look at this. Look, the more observant among you may have noticed oh, that I'm not alone. And there's an echo, echo.
Might be me.
How
Can you hear it?
about that? I'm still doubling up. Oh, okay. Well, no, I'm still getting me twice. That's going to be really annoying. That's way too much of me.
I'm not even sure you can hear me, can you, John?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Oh, nice. Well, I can't see you,
Oh,
but
that's quite strange.
I saw you before, and now we've gone live. I can't see you. That's just
Yeah,
perfect, isn't it?
this is fantastic. Um, the gremlins are here.
I
In its
suppose as long as you can hear
oh,
me.
goodness.
Do you want to? I don't know. Do you
Shall we,
want to try again, or should we?
let's.
Uh,
Sorry about this, guys. We're going to try again.
yep. Because I can't see John. I don't think you can.
Um, boom. Bye bye. So, seem to have some teething troubles here. We're just going to try this again. Going to see if I can get Mr. Tremors back and see if it works this time. That's what we're going to do. Hey, how about now?
No, I can't
Do
see
you
you.
like me now?
I can't see you, but I don't think it matters because when we're live, you're actually there.
No? Okay. Oh, fuck it then. Gonna
Yeah,
get
exactly.
this show on the road.
I know what you look like,
Well,
so
yeah. I don't change much. I'm like fucking Dorian Gray, me. They're
yeah.
definitely grey these days. That's a fact.
Well, I
Anyway,
mean,
hey kids, it's me, Johnny Fox, and you're watching Snick Division, Sniktcast, Snick Chat, Snick. I don't something. I'll work on it. It's a work in progress. Debut episode. If you can see and hear Mr. Tremors, can I call you Delirium? Del?
call me Sean if you want.
Or Sean? It's such is the internet life. We all have so many names
Yeah,
now.
yeah. It sounds interesting, the name, and then as soon as people like what get to know me, they're like, oh yeah, it's boring old Sean.
Well, I was going to ask. There's got to be a story behind that, right? There's got to be a meaning to it. See, I know you. I know this kid, so it doesn't just sound cool, does it? There's some inspiration and some meaning behind that.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know,
Do you want me to tell you? Do
go for it.
you want me? All right. So, first off, I like a beer. I usually have a few while I'm doing some music in and things like that. Mainly when I'm recording it, not actually when I'm writing it and stuff. That's done throughout the day in my head. But I did go to a friend's wedding of mine, and for the very first time, I came across this Belgian beer called Delirium Tremens.
All right.
Like the shakes you get when you. Well, I don't know because I'm not that badly afflicted by beer, but when you don't have a drink and you get
Right.
all the jitters and you start seeing things that aren't there, that heavy alcoholism kind of stuff.
Oh.
Um, so I kind of thought, well, what if that is amplified by 1,000, and you'd have tremors, wouldn't you? You'd be like, so yeah, it's a mad story, but that's what it is.
But I knew there'd be a story. I knew
Yeah,
there'd be a story. There had to be a
and
story.
it involves beer as well, so you know.
So while we're while we're on the shameless self promotion for yourself, tell the kids what they might be in for, what they could hear. If they go check out some Delirium Tremors, what are they going to get in their ear holes?
Uh, well, I'm on Bandcamp, I'm on like Spotify and all the streaming places, and it's literally just me and a laptop, getting drunk, and trying to put down the ideas that I have in my head. Like some have got stories involved, some are just funny, and some are, I don't know. I'm not a very good person in reality of showing me emotions. Like, you know, so that is my way of expressing me emotions. I would say that is the
So,
and it's just me and a laptop and some rubbish music gear. I ain't even got good gear, man. I just I do what I can with what I've got, and I try and make it sound, you know, all right. And if people like it, then I'm really grateful for that because.
yeah,
But I have
that's
got a band, and that is that they're called them Screaming Teeth. We're on all the places. We've only been going since May last year now, should I say? So we're pretty fresh. Had about 3 gigs, and we're planning on doing some more recording this month, getting a second lot of demos down, and then we'll try and get a good album done by somebody other than me, basically. You know, when you're a DIY person, you try and keep costs low, and
yeah.
in turn production's low. And I want to be able to have some music I can get printed to vinyl, even just a
Oh,
copy for myself and the
yeah.
band. Just something as a something to get passed down through my family. You know, when I'm 200 years from now, that kind of thing.
It's good to have goals. It's good to have goals. The last EP that I did back in the day
Ooh,
in my
yeah,
past life when
and
I did musical stuff.
yeah, and don't
Um,
forget we were in a band together. That's right, isn't it, John? Like probably a
Once
couple
upon
of
a time,
incarnations. Yeah.
yes, many moons and
When we
suns and
were
moons,
young
many
men.
rotations ago. But yeah, the last EP that we did, we got it on CD, good boring old CD, but we got the CDs. They have like ridges, like vinyl style
Yeah.
ridges on the CD. Like I thought it just looked like a vinyl, like just to look at it, like they just paint it black and draw some lines on it. But it actually, like physically, had ridges you could touch. It didn't affect the playing. It was just fucking awesome because it was like a little 45, you know.
Hmm.
And yeah, they sold like shit off a stick because of just the novelty value of like, I'm buying a record, but I'm buying a CD, but I'm buying a record. Well, amongst the old people, the old folk loved it.
All
But because
folk
that's
love records, and that's why I know I'm old now because I've got a vinyl collection, and vinyl's made a resurgence, but at the same time, it's just I don't know. Like a lot of people, like kind of look down the nose at you, like, oh, look at him with his vinyls, the old fossil, and it's like, well, at the end of the day, that and it's not just a load of like rubbish as well. Vinyl does sound really good on like not a variable bit rate
oh
and at a constant bit rate. You know,
oh my
the
god,
bass is
no,
warmer, blah blah blah.
a kid I used to know, a kid I used to know we've lost touch. No hard feelings or anything, just one of those things. We did for many a time. Um, he did his what's the big thing you do at the end of uni? You have to hand in like a big essay thing, dissertation, is it something like
Yeah,
that? Um,
something like that.
he did his big university thing, completed his degree by taking all, or maybe not all, but a bunch of different formats. He certainly did like MP3, FLAC, compact disc. I think he did the mini discs. Remember those kids?
They lasted a
Yeah,
long time, didn't they?
they were, but they were supposed to be. They were the future for 5 minutes. Think about the future; it just keeps it keeps coming. Um, and of course, he did vinyl, and I don't know how he did this. He could sort of like upload everything into his some fancy computer algorithm thing and really check out like all the
What's going on?
information, like
What's
all the
going on? Yeah.
information that's stored in each format. And he just found that vinyl just holds more information.
Yeah,
So
I would agree
a
with
lot
that.
of music, even when it was like re-released on CD, re-released on, even when people are downloading like 20, 30 gig and maybe not so much these days, it's got better, but like we're downloading one song for like 15, 20 gig of FLAC because it's so awesome. But it was still missing so much information. Like if you're taking artists that certainly have a lot of layers to their music, like it took a few Beatles songs, like latter era Beatles songs, and it was like they were just like whole sections, just whole instruments that do not appear on any version since vinyl.
Right.
If you're listening to the vinyl on on a good player, like with some good speakers or some good phones, you do get the as intended experience, and you are missing something in every other format, pretty much. Unless, of course, it's more modern music where the producers know that it's going on a modern format and therefore just don't bother. Like if they go, hey, there'd be a really cool, if it's just like a couple of notes of a trumpet going at the end of this, would sound great.
Yeah.
And it would. And the producer goes, nobody will hear it anyway. Don't bother.
Yeah, he'll come out
kind
more.
of justifies the boring old man going, everything was better in my day, because it actually was. It did have more layers, more textured. The music was, if that's what you consider to be, like, for want of a better phrase, better.
I would agree with you on that. I think it's also like the bass is warmer because it's sort of like I always see MP3 as cold and clinical, like it's like having a surgery and then sort of having a cremation is the vinyl version. It's just I don't know, not warm and comforting.
I think it's that if you just want to blast something for like 10 minutes. Maybe like a quick commute to work or whatever,
Yeah, you can't jam a vinyl playing car. I mean, you could, but speed bumps would ruin your musical journey.
I think you can kind of chill and not worry about. You don't need like that full experience. You just need to get the general, like seeing just a half decent cover band. Once you recognise the song and you've had a few beers, you're singing along, even though they're shite.
Yes.
So I feel like MP3 and stuff like that, it's like, the song, it's your playlist, they're your favourite tunes. You only need so much information. Your brain fills in the rest and you're happy. You're on your way, it's Monday morning, it's raining, you've got to go to work, but like it's at least altered your mood a little bit, make the day a little bit more bearable. But like coming home to the vinyl and the headphones, if you've got an hour to spare, like who has that anyway these days? But
I wouldn't say I'm an audiophile where I'm like purely like proper, I've got the best headphones going and, I'd get good like musical equipment if that were the case. I'm a man on a budget, but by the way, somebody's asked in the comments, are we going to do a collab together? Which I'm not against that,
This is my life now. These are the collabs.
I think they meant musical. I think they meant musical. Even if you want to jam some guitars, I've got you.
I think, if I was going to get back into anything, I'd want to do something that I've never done, which I've probably never done because I can't do it. But like, I would like to try. Like, I don't know, like the fact that I'm not the greatest guitarist in the world, never was. I'm certainly not a singer, like at all. I always try to be. I'm like vocalist.
Yeah,
singer just gives you the wrong impression. It's punk rock. I just fucking shout at people.
Yeah, exactly. And there is an audience for that. You know what I mean? You don't have to be a good singer. You don't have to be the best guitarist in the world. All you got to do is
everybody tries telling me Mick Jagger's a a singer.
Yeah. Oh no, he's shy. He's shy. Rolling Stones.
He's doing all right for himself.
Mate, there weren't a lot about that were good then. I mean, he had a good band behind him, and he could, he could dance a little bit, I suppose. But at the end of the day, like I said, just like end of the day, it don't matter whether you're good or not. Like, I don't even know if I'm good or not. Nobody knows that. Like, and if they do, then at what point is it reality, and at what point is it like ego and like, you know, oh, I'm amazing. It's like, oh yeah, well, why is it only your mates that listen to you? Why is there
Yeah.
nobody you've never met that gives a shit about you?
Well, it's art, so all art is subjective, you know. So
Exactly. Exactly. And there's an audience for everybody. You know what I mean? If you can sell your feet, pictures of your feet on eBay, there's literally an audience for everybody. And you just don't stop at feet. I've seen some stuff I didn't even like ask for on eBay. It's like, you know,
yeah.
somebody's bath water.
So
Okay.
so keep it musical for a little while. So what is on your playlist? What are you listening to? You know, these days, up to date.
Oh, I'm sure everybody's heard of who I listen to.
That's
Like,
why we're here. Educate the kids, Sean. Educate them.
well, like you said, music's a matter of taste. I just happen to like, I just happen to like what I like, and it's always something that sounds off. Always something that sounds like, oh my god, what? Like, why is nobody liking these? And then I listen to it, and it like there's a band called Bogshed, and I think they started or they got big around about '87. They're kind of like a post-punk outfit. If you think Gang of Four and that kind of punk out, like
Yeah,
you
that
know,
works for
but
me.
yeah, it's bass driven, and I'm predominantly a bass player, but I try my hand at everything. But it's bass driven and it's great bass driven as well, which I like. But then you've also got um, out of tune guitars, but played really well, going with it, and some annoying guy just shouting.
Okay.
He's got like the annoying geek voice, you know, that's sort of so it's kind of abrasive, but at the same time, I like music that not a lot of people that's not generally mainstream consumed, let's say.
Yeah.
But I don't
You
seek it out. It's
like a
just what I
challenge.
like. Yeah,
Like a challenge.
I just find I get comfort from music that's jarring and is not something I've ever heard before. It sounds like um, it sounds alien to me.
Yeah.
That's what's interesting.
Which which is exactly why I generally don't listen to music in English these days.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think I've been thinking about it because somebody asked because somebody was like, I played some Japanese band that I like to someone, and they're like, "Oh, I wish I knew what they were saying though." I'm like, well,
Sweet
yeah. I mean,
lyrics then.
I'm really into lyrics and storytelling, so like, I also want to know that. But
Yeah.
as far as whether it just it gets me head bobbing and me toes tapping or whatever, and it kind of does something to me. I can still get that, you know,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
because
Yeah.
melodically, like within the English language, I think like every sort of melody, I feel like I've heard it all. You know, the chances of someone coming up with a vocal pattern, a melody that's so, like I say, kind of like alien that makes me go, "Ooh, what the
Yeah.
fuck?" You
Yeah.
know,
Well,
that doesn't
that's
happen
why
very often.
that's why
So
Bogshed got me sort of attention because I never heard of them before. You know, there were Joy Division and loads of like post punk bands floating about, and one of my favorite bands is The Damned
yeah,
because they've spanned punk, goth, new wave, rock and roll, and then nowadays it's sort of blend of everything.
yeah,
So they've moved with the times and kept the times moving like for the band, so that's good. But Bogshed I never heard of, and they're from Yorkshire area. They're from like, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think it's somewhere in Derbyshire region or Leeds area. I can't remember,
yeah.
but literally, they're all dead now, pretty much as well. Just weird things like somebody had a brain aneurysm, cancer, and all that. And I don't think, and to be fair, I'm sad about that because I only discover bands when I can't go and watch them live because they're all goners.
Yeah, well,
Uh,
I mean, not so much some random bog shed, but even the majority of the more mainstream acts, that we like. We are getting old now, and they are even older. And if they're not split up, they're dead for a lot of the stuff. But
Yeah, who's your favourite mainstream artist of today then, John? Somebody who's quite high prolific?
you
Could be rock band.
know,
Yeah.
um,
Pardon me.
and we're not trying to be like that cool niche guy that goes, I don't listen to much mainstream music, but I don't. I try. I don't want to be that miserable old git, you know. I do. I listen
Yeah,
to. I try and make a point of listening to new stuff, and I just
yeah,
genuinely. Most of the time, it's not that I don't like it. Most of the time, somebody might recommend something because they know I like something old, and they go like someone will say, "Hey, you should listen to these. They'll remind you of Faith No More." For
yeah,
example, and I try them. They do remind me of Faith No More, and I just go, yeah, but while ever Faith No More exists, I just don't need these
yeah.
fuckers. Do you know
I,
what I mean? It's not that they're bad.
yeah,
It's
I
just
know what you
I don't
mean.
need them. Like if they reminded me of Faith No More in the sense that they did something completely fantastically, insanely, I've never heard anything like that before, which is how I felt when I first discovered Faith No More. And that's what reminded me of them, that they had that in common, you know? Like maybe when I go listen to Bogshed in an hour or so, it'll have that effect on me. But if
You,
it's just that they
I think you
actually
like them,
sound
John.
like
To be
Faith No
fair,
More, then
yeah.
that's, I don't really need that.
No,
So
I,
I don't try things.
this is the thing. I don't go looking for bands that sound like other bands I like,
Yeah.
purely because I already like those bands and they
Yeah.
fulfill that little niche in my mind that I like. So it's only when I come across something that sounds like odd, weird, alien to me
Yeah.
that I'm like, ooh, not heard anything like this before. I think there's an Australian band, funnily enough, called Yowie, like
Oh, that rings a
the
bell.
Australian Bigfoot. They're just instrumental, no singing, but you'll find that it's the most complex mathematical kind of music, but it all sounds off and jazzy because nothing sounds like they're playing the right notes, but everything's perfectly constructed. It it's one of them where it's a little bit off kilter, and I like stuff like that, but then I also like I'm just so conflicted with everything I like. I like a
And we
lot
like,
of every.
uh,
There's good
you
music
know,
and bad music for me, and the genre isn't important. It's it's all about how basically. I like bands with ugly musicians because they know a thing or two about life, and I like to listen to it.
yeah, yeah. There's a good suggestion in the comments. I think we both know. Uh,
Ooh,
there, Giggles, D.
yeah.
Antwoord.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
Well, there we go.
I'm
I
not
mean,
up to date. I'm not up to date with them, but they do. I do remember them every so often and go, oh yeah,
uh,
I need to.
the film Chappie, they were in that. I enjoyed them in that.
Yeah,
I didn't, they have good videos. I like some of the songs, um, and yeah, they're off kilter. They're a South African rap duo or trio, whichever. But yet the they just don't sound like anything else,
no,
and I think that's the appealing
that's
thing. Like,
the thing. That is the thing.
because a lot of people, when they say, I like original music and stuff like that, it's generally original, but it's almost like an extension of what all their influences are, not just cherry picking
Yeah,
bits.
I
It's
mean,
almost like carbon copying.
yeah, I mean, as the cliche goes, it's all been done, um, and it has. I mean, we're in 2023. So how long's it been since somebody first, whatever, banged a bone on a cave wall or something? We've been making music for an awfully long time, so I'm pretty sure it really has all been done. But I still feel like there's enough wiggle room to do it your way.
In in one respect, I agree with that, but in another, not every human is the same. Not every person sounds or looks the same. So you'll get somebody with an interesting voice. Have you ever met anybody that sounds like Kate Bush? No. And David Bowie?
No.
No. Nobody's, even Freddie. I know there's a lot of people that tried to copy his style and things because but he were a setter in that field.
Yeah.
It's just some people they just sound original because they don't you can turn the music on and within 5 seconds of them singing, it's them.
Yeah.
They're the people that will always be original because they don't flaunt the same tropes that every other musician. Like, there's a lot of scenes going off where if you need to be in that music scene, you have to have X, Y, and Z.
Yes.
Otherwise,
Yes.
you're outsider.
The tail end of my musical life, which I've just decided is the name of the first part of my autobiography. My musical life. That was a big pet peeve, that we would be on the bill with so many bands where they'd fire up and like there'd be like some drums, the riffage, and I'd go, oh, these seem pretty cool.
Yeah.
And maybe the vocals, and I go, hey, I like these. And then they play another song and another song, and then that's when I realized I feel like I did like the first song, but I've now heard the first song 5 times.
Yeah. No diversity in sound.
Because very much I got the feeling a lot of bands, and I mean, it's always polite, respectful, never like getting somebody around and telling anybody they're shit, because they're not shit, They're probably arguably better players than me and things like that. But I felt like they had, as you say, they had like a blueprint, this is how you rock blueprint, And when somehow they got together and went, let's be in a band, and that means we dress like this, we get this haircut, and we make music with these types of instruments that sounds like this.
Exactly.
And they're genuinely very good at that, as were a million other clones. So these are quite good, lasted all of 10 minutes before then really annoying me, because it's obviously it's going to be that band that gets everybody down on the floor.
Yeah,
and that
exactly.
actually gets all the cheers and whoops and all of that. And while you're plugging away with your hopefully like diverse, unique, raw, passionate sound full of integrity and like my hopes and dreams and soul naked bare to you all on the stage, and they're just like green,
I mean,
green
I get
a different name, and you're like, motherfuckers.
I get that because it don't matter, right? You could be the best musician in the world, but as long as you're not playing what the people want, things watered down, easily consumable, and something that's easy to feel or digest. And if you don't fall into that, then you're literally going to struggle, regardless of how amazingly talented you are. You're just gonna, and I'm not speaking about myself. Like, I don't even see myself in that light. I'm not majorly talented. I've got a very big passion for creating music mainly.
Yeah,
But
which is what I've always on the lookout for. That's what I feel like I can sniff out. I can tell the difference between, yes, he's a technically amazing guitarist or whatever, or he's got a fucking 7-octave range of a voice.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah. Like, there's people like that, but
they're doing it in a way that's just been done. It's just because this is how you do it, so they're doing it. They spent a lot of time learning, and it's not easy to do, and they're doing it. And so I have a certain amount of respect for it. But then, like I said, somebody can just get up and just shout and bawl out of tune, sporadically, staccato,
really,
sort of random
it doesn't
words
matter, does it?
in Finnish or something, and I'd be like, yeah, this guy, because I just feel like I can tell, like, he means it, he or she, they, they mean it.
It's
And
all
that
about
impresses the hell
feeling
out
and
of me.
energy.
Yeah.
I think even something that sounds great and the singing is brilliant. If it sounds almost like constructed and it's not true from inside you, it's easily dissected by people who look out for that kind of thing. So
I think it is, and I think it applies. I mean, I think what we're saying pretty much applies to art in general. I don't care if you're a
yeah,
photographer,
across
a
the board, yeah.
sculptor, a painter, a musician, whatever you are. That's the trick. That's the trick, kids. Passion, integrity. You know, just get up there and don't fake it till you make it. Mean it.
Yeah, those
You know.
giggles, just saying, I'm just going to get on the mic and just squeak.
Yeah, why
There's
not?
an audience for it. I'm sure there is. There
Go
will
for
be.
it.
It might be 5, 10 people. It
Yeah.
might be 100 to a million. Who knows? I've never tried. Well, actually, yeah, that's technically what I do. I just squeak my way through tunes.
Let's see,
So,
but
yeah.
not exactly Barry White, are you?
No. Let's say I'm on the higher range vocally than I am lower, but I try and like get somewhere in the middle sometimes. That's the best I can do. I know my range, put it that way. I know what I can do, what I can't do. If not, I'll tune down. I'll give me some wiggle room. I'm like,
That's it.
yep.
So, how
So
about we? Wow, we've been going for longer than you'd think. It's time flies when you're having fun.
it does.
Let's.
I mean, what time are we on?
I
8 o'clock.
think we've been doing about half an hour. Maybe after the false starts, maybe a little less.
Yeah.
So, let's just move this, if I may, into slightly more Snick territory. Although I have that musical background,
Oh
but
yeah. Well,
let's
we need to talk about
let's
your stuff too. Yeah.
use our eyeballs for things. What are we watching? Well,
Well,
what was the last good thing you watched? The last thing that you'd recommend?
Bone Tomahawk with Kurt Russell in.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, Kurt
a
Russell.
western about some troglodytes, which are Native American cannibals that live in a cave, and they steal his wife, I believe. And obviously, no spoilers. That's just how it starts. And then it's all about a quest to get said people back. And it feels like a Tarantino film or a Rodriguez film, but it's by this other guy. I think he's Spanish, maybe, or Mexican. I'm not quite sure. Spanish sounding, anyway. And it's got a really good score. It's quite low budget, but what they've done with the budget is amazing,
Well,
and it's
what
quite
they
gory as
did with
well.
the budget was pay Kurt Russell, I'm guessing.
I don't.
The bulk of the
I
budget.
don't think so. I think a lot of the special effects were quite well done, and we aren't giving anything away because there's some really gory bits in, but it feels like a western, but then it's also horror because some of the stuff is just absolutely like, oh my god, like you saw that in person, you'd be fainting. So
Well, you had me at cannibals. I mean, you had me at Kurt Russell.
yeah,
Because
yeah. So Bone Tomahawk with Kurt Russell in, and I think he's probably the biggest guy in it. There's probably a few others that have been in some stuff, but not Kurt Russell level.
that's enough. If Kurt Russell's
Yeah.
not enough to get somebody to watch something, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with them.
If you don't like Kurt Russell, I'm pretty sure I don't trust you. Like you've got to have a good reason. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, even Captain Ron. I actually like Captain Ron for myself. I mean, maybe I just like watching Kurt Russell, in all
yeah,
fairness, but
yeah.
I can't even watch Captain Ron.
So yeah, Bone Tomahawk. That's a great one. And then apart from that, I've got to say I don't really watch good films. I go in the opposite way. I want to watch something that somebody's tried really hard to make a good film, and they
Failed.
failed miserably, and it's hilarious because of that.
Well, funny you should say that. Anybody think we know each
I
other?
know. In fact, after
I've done a little bit of.
I'm done with you, I've got a film night to go to on Discord where I get to watch some absolute terrible crap. And talk rubbish over it because it's probably not worth listening to anyway. But there's the fun, you see.
Yes, it is indeed. And so, speaking of which, never let it be said that I don't do the research. I do the research. So let's see if you've ever come across any of these beauties.
Yeah, let's go for it.
You might want to. How about this? How about?
Do you want me to give a rating of it as well?
Yeah.
Minus, because it's not going to be better than 0.
I mean,
probably.
don't get me wrong. I haven't seen some of these,
Okay.
but I'm gonna, and
Do it.
I think you'll agree. How about we're going to start with fertilize the blaspheming bombshell. I mean, what a title!
No, I don't think I've ever watched that.
Actually, I think
and to be fair, if I'd heard of it, I probably would have.
It says here it is also known as Mark of the Beast, which is very generic. There's probably like a million films called Mark of the Beast.
Yeah,
may not be fertilized
that's the problem, you see. If I have watched it, then it could be I've seen it and it's called Mark of the Beast. I have seen a film called Mark of the Beast.
I'm looking at the synopsis, and pretty much the title, is the synopsis. There's no there doesn't seem to be any twists in that tale. Apparently, one of the greatest quotes from Fertilize the Blaspheming Bombshell is the Devil Master character spewing out threats of, "Now you shall know the hard-on of sin." Does that ring a bell?
No, but no. I mean, it reminds me of my first date, I suppose.
And another one that might have the same effect: oversexed rug suckers from Mars.
Oh my god, you're throwing some real pearl gems at me.
They are, aren't they? I have actually seen this one.
I would have remembered if I'd have seen a film with the word rug suckers in the title.
Suckers from Mars.
I'm guessing
rug suckers.
Yeah.
Because they're the worst kind of rug sucker. We all know that.
But I don't think I've ever watched that. But I want to. I do want to. You'll have to link me to these after so I can check them out.
Yeah, this is a 1989 movie.
And with sorry, just before you carry on, and with giggles, she says, "Where the fuck do you find your research, John?"
Oh,
so
I could tell you, but then we'd both be at risk of getting arrested.
Yeah, I'm sure you use a VPN, don't you? Don't want to get caught.
But now I'm going to throw this one out there that I know you know. I don't even think it's a bad film. I think it's a pretty fucking good film. I always liked it. I discovered it way back. I've watched it several times since. It's not quite in the same vein as the two we've just mentioned, but just because it's on the list, I'm going to throw it out there. Don't be a menace to South Central while drinking juice in the hood.
Yes.
Yeah, we
all I know that one. Yeah, but it's the early Wayans Brothers, isn't it?
Wayans Brothers, yeah, the parody of well, obviously, Menace to Society, Juice, but Boys in the Hood. Boys in the Hood,
yeah.
I mean, that's a great film.
Well, I like Menace to Society as well. That was a film I had on video, if you can remember them. And I watched it many a time.
We are VHS years old, which,
yes,
if anybody's wondering.
Kind rewind.
Yes. So, back on track, I ever come across, and I maybe shouldn't have used that phrase, the man with the smallest penis in existence and the electron microscope technician who loved him.
I have never
not the
come across,
title.
literally or figuratively, across that film. If not. That is the longest title I've ever heard, though. You're right.
It probably takes longer to say than it takes to watch. This is actually an animated short.
Right.
But, if you can find it, really quite amusing.
See, I think what you've done is I've said I like shit films, yeah. But what you've gone into the bizarre by the sounds of it. Like, they're not just a straight up action film or vampire film. It's something very niche and very, let's say, you're going to have to search very hard for that.
Well, getting a little bit more mainstream and straightforward. monsters, zombie action flick, then
Yeah,
how about watching a nymphoid barbarian in dinosaur hell?
that's what I dream about every night. I can't help but have those sexy nymphoid dinosaur dreams. It's just
Yeah.
what
I mean, this is a 1990 movie, so we've just
like Tammy and the
early 90s was
T-Rex.
still
I've
very
seen that,
80s.
and that's kind of what you
Yeah,
that's kind of along the same line. Tammy and the
yeah.
T-Rex, especially if you've seen the unrated version, it gets a bit weird. That's
A bit weird.
yeah, a lot weird. Yeah. So,
What about the horror of the hungry, humongous Hungan?
oh my God, you've.
The alliteration's fantastic, isn't it? If
Shall
nothing
you
else.
just put me down as no to everyone? Because these films are just I didn't
This
even know
is
people had titles this long.
this is the great. This is the proper B movie trash. The Tale of the Voodoo Prostitute. That's pretty straightforward shit.
Nope, nope, not
No,
seen that. I'm a simple man,
believe
John.
it or not.
I think half of these titles.
I'm not making this shit up. I promise.
Are you sure?
This is a prostitute. Shocker. Who, when wanting to leave her abusive pimp, gets into voodoo and wants to make him impotent. But what the spell does is turns his cock into a rattlesnake. And,
Right.
he
Okay.
sends his henchmen after her to get her to turn it back and stuff, and she kills a lot of people, and it's trash.
And what country is that? You made that.
That is. As far as I can tell, that'd be an American made movie. That's actually 2012.
Oh my God!
Actually,
I thought it was going to be some sort of Eastern European or
Yeah,
Asian film with
you would.
how
That's
niche
actually
it is.
a 2012 kind of indie, low budget fare.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like stuff like that, though. I
Oh yeah.
mean, I do. I think um, I do.
Yeah.
I do watch films like that. So, but just none of the ones you've mentioned.
did you did you see? R. I don't. I'm not. Don't know how the fuck you'd say it. It's like 6 R's, like three capital.
Ah,
And, it's like a. I think it's like Indian or something movie.
all right.
Is it?
So it's not Captain Birdseye.
Oh no, it's like French. It's a multicultural thing. Um, it's amazing. It's pretty. It won a ton of awards a little while ago, and it really is fantastic. It's pretty long. It's a little over 3 hours long,
Ooh.
but like it's like an action superhero flick where like anything that can happen sort of does happen. There's guys
I've
that
seen some Indian superhero films. I have seen some, but I don't think it's that one. There's
there's
one
a
where
bit.
he turns into like a ball of like loads of guys,
All
and he
right.
fights off like a SWAT team kind of thing.
I
But
think one
yeah,
of the most memorable
it's
things
more.
for
That's more
people.
Superman.
There's a bit where they're basically throwing tigers at each other. You'd know if you'd seen that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I would definitely remember that. Yeah,
Yeah, that's actually a pretty cool one.
I'll keep right. You're gonna have to link me to some of these just so I can catch up. Let's say because these are all under my radar, and probably our watchers probably under somebody else's.
I had another one that I really wanted to get in. Oh, I had a couple. We're gonna peek. We're gonna peek here. Butt boy. Butt boy.
Butt
Butt
boy.
with a double T.
Ooh.
Butt, ass, anus, backside.
Oh,
butt boy.
okay. I've heard of that one. I don't know if I've watched it.
I think it's about 2019,
Yeah,
2020 maybe.
I've definitely heard of that, and I've looked into it. I at least looked at the synopsis. If I have seen it, it must not been very good because I've literally blanked it from my memory. So I would say I haven't seen it, but I've definitely heard of that one. Yeah.
If anybody's interested, Book Boy, it's an alcoholic IT engineer who's just bored and fed up with his life, and finds that he can find fun, pleasure, and somehow meaning by shoving stuff
Okay.
up his ass.
His bottom. And by the way, you best tell them, people, if you're going to start Googling Butt Boy, you might get a little bit more than what you were asking for. So be careful what you ask for.
Yes,
What's the
Boy
year?
movie
2019.
2019.
Right, so put the year in and it'll just give
Yeah,
you
that'll
that.
help.
Not a lot of, let's say, homosexual pornography, shall we say. You don't want that.
Put your safe search back to moderate for like the
Yeah,
first time since you were
yeah,
14 or something.
yeah. Nobody wants that.
But actually, it's actually a crime thriller. There's a detective and a bunch of murders going on, and the detective thinks the bodies that they can't find, maybe this guy's got them somewhere.
It sounds like he has to me. I'm not going to lie.
And we're not going to talk about Sharknado, because why that's even on this list, I've no idea.
Well, Sharknado are films that are meant to be bad. And you know, when somebody is self-aware that they're doing something, it's not as impressive as when they're not, you know?
Yeah.
I don't want somebody to know that they've got the pants hanging out the back of the trousers and they're not actually on the body. I'd like them to not know that, because that's funnier. That kind of
So
thing.
I'm gonna top this off. I'm gonna take you back. I'm gonna take you back to 1975. Right?
Ooh, I were a sperm then.
And how would you like a cowboy on an adventure to the Philippines? Right?
That
Good old cowboy on an adventure to the Philippines.
doesn't
Right?
sound good.
Because he
The good,
wants
the
to
bad, and the
enter.
lady boys. Is that what it is?
Oh, no. He wants to enter his pet rooster in the Olympic cockfighting championships.
Oh no!
Yes.
It's going to be called something like Cockfighter,
Oh,
isn't it, or something like
no,
that?
it's simply called Supercock.
Oh my God! See, there you go. You know, guess what? You know, if you actually Google that, you're going to have that on your
You've been
history, and you're going
warned.
to have to explain it to somebody.
You've been warned. But
I'm looking for some Supercock, please.
which
Yeah.
we all know is the best kind.
Okay. Well, I mean, you know, you're not going to go for anything less, are you? I mean, come on, don't settle. Yeah, yeah. This mediocre cock is brilliant. I'm talking about the film, nothing else.
So not too much of that.
Changing.
So you see, you've got a bit of homework to do there.
I've got plenty to hide the search results from. Yeah, by the sounds of it, I'm going to start getting some weird Facebook adverts after that. I thought Persian Wi-Finder was strange enough, believe it or not, and I've never ever spelt Persian, so I don't know where that's come from. But yeah, I've had some, but this were a long time ago. But yeah, normally
like,
you'll
would that
just
help Persians
Google
find a
something
wife?
like you know, to buy a. Sorry,
But does that help Persians find a wife, or does it help other ethnicities find a Persian wife?
I think it's. I don't know. I didn't really look into it, to be fair, but I'm guessing it's for. It's like an Asian, possibly Islamic site to meet other couples, and sorry, not like that. Let me rephrase: to meet other people and to potentially get married if if you've been so unlucky in love. I'm guessing, but I don't know why I got that, because I am very far from Asian. I'm like Casper the ghost, so I don't know what data they were collecting on that one.
Yeah.
But
I didn't know that you're.
anyway, let's bypass all this. Who wants
Enough of
a
this.
wife anyway?
Jolly good.
Exactly.
I
Four
mean,
out of, 3 out of 4 men are happy, and it's usually the guy on the dirt bike and no wife. But anyway, sorry.
yes, that's
I'm joking. I'm joking. Obviously, I've got.
yeah,
I have actually. I am actually in a relationship, so they're. I'm just as daft as everybody else, I guess.
oh, but it's oh my god, this has been great. I'm
Yeah,
kind of I don't know where do you go where do you go from Supercock? I should have
I think we
maybe should have held off a little
peaked.
longer.
We peaked at Supercock. Really, I think we lost lots
Like,
of
how do
viewers. I think
you follow
about
that?
3,000 people joined, and then they all left when we said Supercock. They're like, no, not safe for work. But yeah, it's been a really interesting chat. To be fair, I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, so I don't know if this is going to automatically cut off. I don't know if we have a limit on this or what. It's no, we're not quite an hour yet anyway. So,
Yeah,
but
I think if we call it an
yeah,
hour, that's pretty good.
so we've got another 10 minutes or so. If you're up for that, if you're okay with
I'm
that,
all
be
right with
great.
that. Yeah.
So, okay, okay. Let's try and bring a few of those people back. Try and bring a few of those people back. Go. You couldn't really get much more mainstream than Star Wars.
Mm.
Do you give a shit anymore? Did you ever really? I actually don't know this
Um,
about you. Whether you're much of a Star Wars fan?
Original trilogy, yes. I even went to the cinema to watch the digitally, the one with the better effects in, circa 2000.
Yeah,
Return of the Jedi specifically. But
the Muppet
but
movie.
yeah,
That's
but
right.
I did watch the newer trilogy and some of the subsequent cash cows along the way, and
Oh,
I've
JJ.
just found them drab. I found them drab. No, nothing for me. Basically, I clearly didn't hold that torch long enough, but I do like the original trilogy because it makes sense, right? It was made in the late 70s, and everybody looks like they're in the late 70s. The new trilogy comes out, which is supposed to be before that, and everybody looks all pristine and clean and not one weird hairdo. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't I can sometimes foresee some like kind of not continuity kind of errors, but I thought if you're going to make films that are set before the ones made in the 70s, at least try and like make them look older or something. I don't know,
Yeah.
but that's not going to sell tickets, is it? No, basically what I'm saying is goes against what Hollywood is, but at the same time, that's the only way that I would have been interested.
I mean,
That's
but this
pretty much it.
is the thing. I mean, Lucas, because before
And
selling for his
yeah, Star Trek is better. Those giggles,
Star
yeah,
Trek is better.
yeah. The films are really good. I like the Star Trek
You like the
films.
JJ films, the
No, I
JJ Abrams
don't
films?
like all. I don't like all. Right, the new Star Trek films are better because it brings them more in line with all modern cinema a little bit. So they can compete with Star Wars a little bit, but the other ones before that, they were just for people who enjoyed like first generation and next generation and stuff like that. Basically, it was like continuation of the next generation Jean-Luc Picard sort of feel.
Yeah, there's supposed to be a. I think Abrams has recently dropped the bomb. He's intending to do a prequel to the
Hmm.
reboots that he did. Why? I don't know. Why we're always going backwards. We're always going before the TV shows are doing it. They're all going before the TV show that this happened. Why we never move on? I
Yeah,
don't know.
but it's like I don't really care. I don't really, the story that they've presented in a film that I enjoy. I don't care what the story of that story is. I don't. I don't. I don't get why they just. I think eventually, if a series or a franchise is big enough, there's just cash cows going to be dripping from it. Like, there's another. What's it? Not Ash vs Evil Dead. The Army of Darkness film coming out, and I'm quite at one time I'm like, okay, I like Ash, I like Evil Dead, but why are they making another Army of Darkness film? It worked as one film, like going through a portal and coming back, you know.
I
So
think it's just, I think Rami and Campbell, they had things they wanted to do back in the day. It didn't necessarily pan out.
No.
Now Rami's like quite the big shit. Had some big money movies on his hands and stuff. And he can actually, they can't like reliving their youth. They want to go back and do the shit that they always said they were going to do, which is like great for them. I can understand it that they want to do it. How that pans out for us, really, I don't know.
Yeah, I think each to their own. If you've got a massive interest in that whole universe, then you're going to invest in it, and they've really got to mess it up for you to just go, nah, not watching that ever again. I mean,
I thought the TV show was great because I thought the TV show, I thought the Ash versus the Evil Dead TV show, I thought it moved it on.
Yeah,
I thought it could easily work as the passing of the torch from Ash, from Bruce to these kids, and particularly Dana the main chick.
Oh,
she was fucking
the
phenomenal.
one.
I thought she was badass. I
could
watch more Evil
Is
Dead.
that the one
with
that's
her
got dark
as the
hair?
star.
Looks kind of Italianish.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's lovely.
I was watching that and thinking I could watch more Evil Dead with her as the star, kicking dead-eye ass all over the place. You know, we've moved on. It's got youth, it's got diversity, it's got all the cool, like 21st century shit you're supposed to have, so people can't shit on it because it's too white or too masculine or whatever.
Exactly, yeah.
But it's because it works. It's because she's really fucking good. She was just channeling Ash the whole way through it, like being really fucking good at it.
Yeah, she's the female equivalent, which is nice because it's like that's a nice alternate tale from the female point of view, you know.
And they decide not to do that. But hey, what do we know?
It's because the whole franchise is built off Bruce Campbell, and it's too much of a financial risk for studios to take to just pass it off to somebody else, which is sad. It's sad. It's sad. It's because they want sure bets basically on whether something will take off or not. Because they're all gambling addicts. These studios, they'll literally front the money and get a juicy return, and they don't care how shit or good the film is, as long as bodies are in them cinemas or they're selling enough subscriptions somewhere. That's it. It's like the music industry. It's a shit industry, but in different ways. Like they can absolutely ruin a franchise or a film just because studios dip their fingers into food and decide that's what's going to sell. And then music industry is just everybody makes money, but the people making the music. So
oh God, yeah.
It's shit in different ways, Yeah. Everybody's eating a shit sandwich out there, so just different flavored.
See, this is why I'm not quite as scared of AI as a lot of people. I mean, I want it to remain a tool for our advancement, obviously. I'm not really ready to bow to the overlords as such. But with AI running the show, or a certain amount of the show, to me, and I'm living in an ideal world here, but certainly if you do like manual labor jobs, call center jobs, really the shit job. It's 2024. Should human beings really be doing that? We've been given these big brains. We create this technology for a reason, make our lives easier. I feel like robots made by robots, run by robots, in a factory full of robots should be making shit, not me. so that I, as a human being, can be free to focus on more important
Yeah,
things
enjoy
like
your
art,
life
and poetry and
creatively.
philosophy. I
Yeah.
could just kind of walk the earth like Carradine in Kung Fu and just impart my wisdom on people and
I'm
shit. Because the
I'm with
robots have got that manufacturing shit, and what
I'm with you
have
on
you
that.
covered. The algorithm can sort out your call center. It's not an issue.
The
Human beings don't need to do that. Our brains, our hearts, our souls are made for better things.
the problem is the world's back to front at this stage because AI is making all the art and film, and
Exactly.
and we're doing all the shitty jobs that nobody else wants to do.
That's what I said the other day. It's backwards. It's just
Yeah,
backwards.
but
If we
I think all the Karens and the Ronnie Pickerings in the world want somebody to shout at in real life down the phone because something out of their control has gone wrong. They don't want to shout at somebody who doesn't understand English very well or is a complete robot and doesn't have any emotions against them. They want to ruin somebody's day because they've been inconvenienced.
and
That's what they want to do.
and you know what got a lot of people shouting just before Christmas? Arse end of 2023? Rebel Moon. I'm
Yes,
gonna
seen
go.
that in
I'm
the
gonna bring it
comments.
up. It's been brought up in the comments. I'm gonna join in. Did you
Is that
partake?
is that Disney classic?
Some be. History
Technically
will
it is.
history will tell the tale on that one. You know,
I meant Disney
I didn't.
classic. Shit.
You
I
know,
didn't
I know.
like that the solo film or basically any of the new Disney ones apart from what's the Force Awakens, is that where it was? With the last one to have Leia
Yeah.
and that in, oh sorry, just doing the recycling. Yeah. They are the ones that is the last one that I did like, even though it was a soft reboot
Oh yeah.
of A New Hope. It was literally a soft reboot, but yeah.
You see, I mean, the fact that we're living in a world where Rebel Moon exists, I like though. I like the fact that Snyder wrote a Star Wars movie, wanted to make a Star Wars movie, pitched a Star Wars movie, got told he could make the Star Wars movie, then gets told, "No, you can't. We don't.
Yeah.
We don't do that. We can't have. You know, we can't have a excuse me. We can't have casinos and space hookers in Star Wars. No, certainly not now. It's Disney." And then they went on to have a gambling planet in one of the major movies. I think in the third of the soft reboot trilogy, and the Andor TV series. The first episode opens with the guy going in a brothel and murdering someone, so that
Yeah.
Snyder can go, "You told me I couldn't do that. Fuck you." Netflix
Yeah.
drop a big bag of cash on the table, and he goes, "I'm making my space hooker Star Wars movie. Fuck you,"
It don't
and makes it.
make sense. It
And
really doesn't make sense.
it like it became a thing. Like you've got to see it. I wanted to know just if it had been me, if it had been my movie, if I'd have made Rebel Moon, I'd have gone even closer to the bone. Rather than just it looks like Star Wars, it smells like Star Wars. It wouldn't be like, oh, that's a bit like Han Solo. My guy would have been called like Harry Juice
Yeah.
instead of Han Solo.
See,
And it would be like wouldn't be the Millennium Falcon. It'd be like the Buzzard 2000. I'd be like, fuck it.
yeah.
Make
See,
them have it.
I'd want Paul Verhoeven, who did RoboCop, to do Star Wars. I'd want to see
Oh,
what he brought to the table,
oh
where
my god.
you get shot with one of the stormtroopers can actually shoot, and when they hit you, it's like a watermelon's
It's
burst through
just
your body.
fucking
Yeah,
just 2 hours
I'd
of
like to see a big
stormtrooping
gory
headshots that rebels
version that
don't
was
know
pretty
what's happening.
dark. Yeah, that's that's my kind of stuff. I like the darker. I mean, I've watched Predator, RoboCop, and Mad Max way before I should have.
Yeah.
Like
No, dude.
they're
Yeah.
the films I grew up on. I was probably about 8 when I
But
watched Predator. So,
way before we should have is exactly when we should have.
yeah, 18 years is too long. When
Ain't too
I'm
long.
I'm 10. Like, sorry, I'm probably about 8. I've got another 10 years. No,
Yeah,
no.
no.
Anyway,
Screw that.
I best end
We're
it
gonna,
here because I'm going to get
we're
into.
gonna toddle off. Okay,
Yeah,
well,
yeah, yeah.
that's it for
It's
this
been a
week
pleasure,
then,
dude.
kids.
Yeah.
Everybody
Uh,
say goodbye to Sean. Bye, Sean.
I'll see you soon. I'll
Mr.
see you
Tremors.
soon.
That's Delirium Tremors everywhere. Everywhere
Bye
online,
bye.
you'll find it. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Get out of here. Well, he's gone. I'm alone. I'm alone. I'm so alone. There's no one here beside me. Anyway, well, I hope you enjoyed that because I sure as shit did. And I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do it as regular as I can with as many different weirdos. Not saying that Sean's a weirdo. I am saying that Sean's a weirdo. As many different people as I can, different walks of life, different artists, different art forms, and got to get balls deep up in their head and see what they've got going on. And it's going to be fun. Thanks for being along for the ride. Hopefully there's going to be a lot more of this. See ya. I'm out of here.